Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our coaching tonight regarding relationships. And one thing I would like to do, first of all, is just to thank so many people for sending in your questions. Now, I'm going to try and answer as many questions as I possibly can. And I also have my phone with me tonight as well, so that I can really keep an eye on the comments, because I am streaming from Zoom, as you can see. So come and join me and let's get started. So lots and lots of questions came in with regards to relationships and challenges that we face during our relationships. And one of the questions that got sent to me was from a lady called Elena. And Elena's question was, how can I be more vocal when I don't like something within a situation without dreading that gut feeling? Now, first of all, Elena, I just want to say, what an amazing question, okay? Because there's lots and lots of people out there that will resonate with this, because I know I did when I read your question. And we've all had that icky feeling where we're not quite comfortable with what's going on around us and the environment that we're in, but we're too scared to speak out. Now, Elena, perhaps let's look at the emotional attachment that you have towards the situation. What is the emotional attachment? What meaning have you attached to speaking out? Because when we take it a step back and we really strip it down a little bit, it really comes to fear, okay? Now, is it the fear of being judged? Is it the fear of causing a conflict? And maybe that's why you're too scared to speak out. So let's strip it back, Elena. Let's really, journal it, see what it is that is actually causing you the emotion and the feeling. What is the meaning that you have added to it? The other thing I'd like to say as well is, once we strip that back down and we get to a point where we understand what the trigger is, and we absolutely understand what the meaning is that we've attached to it, we can remove that meaning. And once we've done that, we can move forward. And when we come to moving forward, I always recommend clear and calm communication. Have a think about what it is you don't like. Have a think about how you can get your point across. And quite often, when it comes to communication, we're not responsible for how other people act. That is down on them, okay? That's not down to you. However, in saying that, we still hold an element of responsibility for how we communicate. Have we communicated the right way? Have we caused something to trigger in them? Okay, so clear, calm communication. But first of all, strip it right back. Let's have a look what the emotion is telling you, what the fear is coming in, and let's see if we can try and, really take away the fear. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, you're going to be able to move forward without having that icky feeling. So I know Elena is on with me, which is awesome. So Elena, let me know if that has answered your question. Okay, so she's come back to me actually, and she's saying, hi, Nina, the fear of the response is because of the abuse I have suffered. I totally get that, totally get that. And a lot of the time, our response goes back to something that has triggered us from being in the past. And we have to be able to understand what that trigger is telling us. What is it that's not quite healed, okay? Is it because you're walking on eggshells? Is it because you are worried about what the other person thinks or what they will do? Now, like I said, Elena, we are not responsible for the actions of other people. And you certainly should not be walking on eggshells, and you certainly should not be feeling that you can't speak out. Now, The other one that I wanted to address was Karen's question. And Karen has, I've been in touch with Karen for quite some time now. And there was just something that she sent to me that kind of like triggered a little bit of a conversation we'd had in the past. And I just wanted to answer this one live for her. So how do I approach sensitive situations like sex within a relationship? And Karen, I'm going to come straight back at you there with, what is it about the word sex? Okay. What is it about that word that makes you feel icky inside? Because when we are in a relationship, regardless, okay, of the circumstances, we should feel comfortable and open enough to talk to our partners, about anything that we have going on in our minds. Quite often when this happens, it is because of a past circumstance that has happened. So we've got to really think about the sex, okay? So the sex is what she is uncomfortable with talking about with her partner. And we've got to really think about why, okay? What is the meaning behind it? What is giving you that emotional trigger, which is then stopping you from being open? Now, we've also got to think about the trust. How much do we trust our partner? And I know just from knowing Karen that she has absolutely 100% trust in her partner. I know that. But does she have the trust in herself? And when we look at situations that often bring up the trust element, it is more about our own trust rather than the trust that we have in others. When we learn to 100% trust ourselves, we absolutely empower ourselves to make the decision that is right for us within the circumstance. And Karen, if there is something holding you back from making that decision to have that open conversation, we've got to address that. We've got to find out what it is that is stopping you from moving forward. Now, Monica brought a great question to the table. And just before I go on to Monica's questions, there's lots and lots of you on now, which is absolutely fantastic. And if you have a burning question, even though I'm going through some of the questions that have already been emailed over to me by the ladies, if you have a burning question and you would like me to answer it live or try to answer it live if we have enough time, then please drop it into the comments below. And the other thing is as well, is, you know, maybe you might resonate with some of these. And if you do, let me know, you know, drop a comment in there and, you know, tell me what it is that you're going through at the moment. Come and tell me your story. So Monica's question was actually a really, really good question because it does resonate with quite a lot of people out there. And this is something that I come across quite a lot of the times with working with ladies to do with relationships. So Monica asked, why do we fall in love so quickly? Oh my God, that is, wow. You know, come on, girls, we do that. Yeah, I know I have in the past. But what a burning question. Why do we do it? Why does it take us a while to build, or why don't we take a step back and build that fact-finding, healthy relationship, first of all, rather than actually, you know, jumping in with 2 feet and saying, I love you, I love you, I love you straight away? Okay, so this really boils down to the fact that we are looking for love. And quite often when you are looking for something, whether it be the right thing or the wrong thing, you generally find what it is that you're looking for. The other thing is as well is that our emotional needs are really, really important to us as human beings. And because they are really important to us as human beings, we're out there searching for them to be met. Now, it is actually our own responsibility to meet our own emotional needs. However, we would like to think that when we partner up with somebody, that somebody that we partner up with is going to help us to grow and develop. Now, when we are not having our emotional needs met, and we are not 100% capable at that present time of meeting those needs ourselves, it's like we've got little radars going on. And the little radars are telling you, find me love, find me love. I want to be loved. A lot of that, Monica, is down to your self-worth, okay? It's down to the value that you put on yourself. It's down to the fact that, excuse me, quite often when we feel unloved, it's because we don't understand the amount of love we already have around us, because there are 7 different types of love around us. We have familiar love, we have unconditional love, we have universal love, okay? We have the flirtatious, romantic love. So let's have a think about, if you're somebody that does jump into a relationship and you do find that you are, you know, really attached to this person quite quickly, is it because you are looking and you are keen to find love that you often don't take that step back and have that first episode where, you know, you go into that relationship and you're building a trusting relationship with this person by fact finding? And you know, whenever I talk to my ladies on a one-to-one basis and they talk to me about dating agencies and going out on dates, for me, we've got to be able to fact find first. This is about finding the right piece, okay, to fit your jigsaw. And, you know, we have a list. We have a list of what it is that we are looking for in a partner. And when we are low with our self-worth, quite often we disregard the list and we just meet somebody and we take it on face value that they are going to build our emotional needs for us. So there we jump in, okay, we jump in with 2 feet. Quite often when that happens, we get that emotional tie quite quickly. And when that happens, we then miss the red flags. Now, I'm not saying there's red flags in every relationship. Of course there isn't, okay? But what I am saying is love yourself first. When you are 100% true to yourself and you can really connect with your inner core and you understand what that gut feeling is telling you and you are strong enough to listen to that gut feeling, then you are ready to be able to go out there and trust your own decisions. So, Monica, I hope that answers your question. Darlene's saying, Nina, I once read that a woman fall in love and get married, men decide to get married and look for a wife. And this is the thing, we're very, very emotional as women, okay? And don't get me wrong, there are men out there that are emotional too, which is fantastic. But we are the nurturing type. We are the developers. We are the ones that grow the relationships. We are the ones that, you know, really care for everybody that is around us. And I'm not taking any of that away from the men. There are lots and lots of men out there that have beautiful souls, okay? But we are nurturers. We are. That's what us women do. Okay. Now, an interesting question came through with regards to Louise. And Louise was asking me, how do you communicate with a narcissist? Now, such an amazing topic when it comes to talking about narcissist, because, sorry, ladies, my phone has just popped off. Such an amazing topic to talk about, and the reason being is because I have studied this so much, and especially with my past and what it is that I've been through. Now, the thing is with a narcissist is that it's all about the emotional connection, okay? And when I say things like, the less you fight, the less power you give them, it sounds a little bit strange, that, doesn't it? However, it's very, very true. With narcissistic behavior, okay, the best way to communicate with them is to take away the emotion. If you have no emotional tie to this person, it makes it so much easier to communicate. When you do have an emotional tie, they know exactly how to push your buttons. And when they know how to push your buttons, it's like they're playing a game. They will want to continue this game as much as they possibly can, because every time you retaliate, you are giving them power. So the less you retaliate, the less power you are giving to them. So my answer to that, Louise, would be, whenever you are communicating, whether that be via messages, via email, via a solicitor, take out all of the emotion. Make it as clear as you possibly can. Ask clarifying questions, okay? So that you know you're going to get a straightforward answer from this narcissist. Do not let them see that their behavior is any which way, shape or form bothering you. Because, excuse me again, when you let them see that, you are sparking this little excitement inside. And they're thinking, oh, this is the game now. We're back in the game. I've still got hold of this person. I can do what I want with this person. So take out all emotion. So Linda's saying clear, black and white. Yeah, absolutely. That's all they understand. This or that, okay? When there's that emotional baggage in between, you are empowering them, okay? So take that out. Now, equally, Linda was asking about a co-parenting question, really. And I know Louise's question was about a co-parenting question as well. And Linda is slightly different with her questioning. So Linda's question was, okay, how can we make decisions together? And how can I stop the communication coming through the girls? Now, the problem we have with this, Linda, is we actually can't control what the other person does. And we also have to take a step back and understand that not everybody's ability to communicate is as strong as our own. And quite often we don't take that to consideration. We automatically assume, because I am talking to you, you are understanding everything that I'm saying. When you come out of a relationship, it can take time for both parties to heal from that relationship. And when you come out of a relationship, it's kind of like you go through a grief process, and it doesn't matter whether it is you that decided to end the relationship or whether it was the partner that decided to end the relationship. You both feel that grief process, because technically you have lost somebody that you were once with. This can be quite difficult when it comes to co-parenting, because let's say, for example, Linda has done all of the healing that she needs to do, and she's taken away that emotional attachment, and she no longer has that emotional attachment to her co-parent. However, the co-parent may not have healed as quickly as what Linda has. And if that's the case, there's still going to be quite a bit of bitterness and resentment on the other side. We have to understand this, because that's going to cause a drift in the communication. Now, when it comes to older children, okay, it's easier for the parent to connect with the child and for the child to then pass the message on. It's not the best way of us doing it, I know. okay? And it would be absolutely wonderful, Linda, if the other person was just, yeah, let's do this, let's be civil, let's, you know, communicate moving forward for the sake of our children. But like I said, we cannot control what they do or how they react to situations. One thing I will drop in, Linda, is maybe a face-to-face conversation. So rather than doing it over text or over phone, maybe a 5-minute, do you mind if I have a chat with you? It's regarding the girls, and maybe a 5-minute conversation might help you with regards to putting across how you want to move forward. Okay. Just be careful though, Linda, that it's not all about you. Okay. And I say that in the nicest possible way. This is not about you. This is about the children. So, you know, try and stay away from you never do this or we don't do that, because that's criticizing, blaming, starting that conversation, and we don't want to do that. Okay. You know, more like, you know, I feel that sometimes some of the decisions that we need to make are decisions that we must make together. What are your thoughts on this? And it's a little less aggressive, and it means you're coming from your feminine energy rather than from a masculine energy. You know, I feel with regards to our children, is there a way of us communicating a little bit more, just so I can pass valid information over to you? Would that be okay with you? Yeah. And, you know, I know Linda's a master in her feminine energy. I know that she's absolutely awesome. So Linda, take a step back, take you out of the equation. Okay. Think about what's best for the girls. Now, if the decisions your co-partner is making is harmful to them in any which way, shape or form, then that's a completely different scenario. And I am certainly happy to connect with you on that level. Okay, but I hope that answers your question, Linda, to the best of my ability. Kim also had a question with regards to communication. How do you deal with somebody who cannot communicate effectively? Now, it can be quite tricky, Kim, when it comes to communicating with somebody else who doesn't have the ability, like you, to be able to communicate in a fashion. Timing is very essential, because if they have poor communication, quite often it also means that they take longer to process the information that you are telling them. And we've got to be careful, just like I said with Linda, we must be careful not to go in there with any criticizing or any blaming. Because the minute you start criticizing and blaming, the other person will react and respond in a way that you didn't expect. Now, I always think I am statements. Yeah, I am concerned. I am a little worried. I am wondering if. Yeah, is there any chance we can have a chat about X, Y, Z? And then that way you are preparing them before you actually go into that communication. And when you do come across your communication, make sure it is very calm, very clear, very straight to the point. And just be careful not to use those you, never, we, you know, this happened, you know, because again, that's all controlling, criticizing behavior, and we don't want to trigger them. Now, you know, you're probably thinking, oh my God, Nina, 2 minutes ago you were saying to me, we're not responsible for other people's actions, and we're not. Okay, we can't fix other people. We cannot say to them, you shouldn't react like that, because that's their choice. Okay, and we would be taking that choice away from them. But what we can actually do is think about how we communicate. If I am putting something across to somebody and they kind of look at me a bit funny, that then triggers me. And I think, did I communicate that in the right way? And maybe ask the question, how did that sit with you? Did that come across the right way? And if they say, well, no, that sounds like you're blaming me. Oh, I beg your pardon. That wasn't my intention. Because sometimes when we are aggravated, we lose control over what it is that we're actually saying. So try and keep it as direct, calm, clear, and straight to the point. And then always reflect afterwards and think, well, do you know what? Could I have said it in a better way? Hope that answers your question, Kim. And then one of the last ones I want to talk about tonight, and if there are any questions, you know, in here, in the chat group, please feel free to drop them in, okay? Because we've still got, you know, some time if you want me to come in and answer a few. Now, Sylvia's saying co-parenting, such an important subject. Absolutely. And for those of you guys, Sylvia is actually an epic parenting coach. So if there is anything that you want to ask with regards to co-parenting or with regards to your children, then please reach out to Sylvia, because, you know, she is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So Laura was asking me, how do I let go of a relationship? And firstly, I would like to point out just a few things with regards to relationships. So a relationship does not necessarily mean a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a wife, a husband, okay? We can have relationships with everybody and anybody that we meet. So, for example, I have a relationship with my son. I have a relationship with my mum and dad. I have a relationship with my clients. I have a relationship with my friends. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is a romantic relationship. However, all relationships can be toxic. So it could be that you are in an environment that might not necessarily be your partner. It could be a friend, for example, and that is causing the toxic relationship side. And a toxic relationship is very, very stressful and very straining. Now, what we've got to think about is, what is it that you are getting from this relationship? How is this relationship enabling you to grow? Because that's what relationships are for. When we think back to when we were born, we had a relationship with our parents. We relied on our parents to help us to grow. We relied on our teachers to help to educate us. We relied on our friends so that we had that social development, okay? So all relationships are there for us to grow and to become stronger people. Now, if you are thinking of walking away from a relationship, it's really, really important that you perhaps ask yourself why. What is it that I am not getting from this relationship? Do I need to be in this relationship? Is this relationship serving me in the best way possible? Is it a healthy relationship? And for those of you that are out there who are not quite sure about what is and what isn't a healthy relationship, then a healthy relationship is something that helps you by supporting, by trusting, by helping you with your emotional needs, okay? It's also there, it's about effort and compromise. Now, this is to do with both parties, not just one person. If you're in a relationship where only one person is making the effort and only one person is compromising and only one person is supporting, and there doesn't seem to be anything given back on the other side, then that can become quite stressful and quite strained. That's not a healthy relationship. Communication is very, very vital within a healthy relationship because it allows us to talk about our feelings. It allows us to see where we're at and where we want to be and what our dreams are. And also, you know, if you find that the relationship that you are in is holding you back for any reason whatsoever, then that's not a great relationship for you to be in. So Laura, think about boundaries, okay? Let's look at boundaries. Set some clear boundaries for yourself and for other people. And what's really crucial is that you stick to the boundaries. Think about, are these people helping you to grow? Maybe journal your reasons why you are in this relationship and why you need to come out of the relationship, and see which of the two areas are the strongest. So I hope that answers all of the questions that we have had in for tonight, which is absolutely awesome. And there is just one little burning question that I know is going across quite a lot of people's minds nowadays, okay? But I'm just going to check my comments before I go through that, okay? Absolutely fab. Brilliant. So, emotional response. Now, so many people say to me, Nina, I have so much pain in my body. I am constantly snapping at other people. Whenever something happens, I blow like a pop bottle. And I really don't know what to do in order for me to be able to curb this. I find that I'm shouting at my children for no reason whatsoever. And I've done this, guys, okay? I've done this so much that I have spent so much time apologizing to my son, because what you generally find is that when you are overwhelmed, when you are stressed, when you are unhappy, all you focus on is the feeling, the emotion, and it really does consume you. So then when your child comes along and they're like, yay, shh, be quiet, got a headache, okay? Or they say to you, Mummy, what's for tea? Oh, it's not tea time yet, just go and play, it's not ready yet. And we kind of come out with a behavior that we don't recognize. And then afterwards, what do? We take a step back and we feel so guilty. Oh, I'm so sorry. I really didn't mean to snap at you. I'm so sorry. I'll make your tea now. I didn't realize you were starving. And we have that guilt then, which then is another emotion. So we've gone from feeling overwhelmed, stressed, unhappy. We've snapped at our children. We're now feeling guilty. But the problem is, not only are we now feeling guilty, and that's another emotion we've got to deal with, but we've transferred all of our stress and our emotions onto our child. Now they're feeling sad. They're feeling, you know, stressed, or why is Mummy shouting at me? Why is Mummy unhappy? It's quite a hard pill to swallow, that, isn't it? But I've been there, guys. I've been there so many times. But it's all about being able to manage our emotional response. Now, starting tomorrow, I have some free training for all of the ladies out there who want to know what their triggers are telling them. So if you want to join my trigger spotting training, which is epic training, it's going to be from Monday to Friday, 5 days. You can come and work with me on a closer level and come and see what it's all about. How peaceful would it be to be able to face a situation, face a circumstance, and not have that dreaded feeling, that emotional guilt, because you've exploded in a way you didn't want to? How nice would it be to be able to face a situation and say, I'm not going to let this get to me. I'm not going to give this my energy. And instead, I'm going to go away and do something that's really positive and really joyful. Okay. Adrienne's saying it's bliss. It is bliss. Absolutely. And when you get to a point in your life where you're quite zen, okay, and this is not under any circumstances about letting people walk all over you. Can I just point that out, if that's okay? This is about you being able to control the stress that is in your body. If this has been eye-opening for you, if this has really connected with you, and you think, I want to know more, then all I'm asking is that you invest your time. Come and join me tomorrow. And on that note, ladies, I hope I have answered as many questions as I possibly can live. I just want to thank you all. Much love to you all for joining me. And remember, keep being awesome. Take care for now.